welcome you all for the webinar today. So we are exploring the new features in Altium AD20. What are the new features introduced in AD20? So agenda for today webinar is like key targets of Altium Designer. Like what are the key targets we have introduced in, any query? Okay, sorry. So, and the major features we have breakdown into four categories. So like semantic, new routing and PCB design rules, and also what are the other improvements we have done in AD20, so that we are going to see. So these are the three initiatives like key targets: user focus, extending our technology lead, and long-term R&D investment. So these are the three initiatives we have taken care to implement the features requested by the customers. You will see. So the main first initiative is like user focus. So which shows that we are listening to the customer and invest our time to implement the features to means encourage the customer to use the tool. Here you can see these are the unique users, almost around here you can see 5,000 people are suggested the ideas and bug ranges in different versions from 18, 19, 20, 20 versions. So many of you also maybe using the Altium Live to send your suggest your ideas and means bug ranges and Altium forums to discuss your queries and all. So our R&D team is doing a great job by listening to these queries and other bug ranges, and they are analyzing and they are implementing the features in means in the versions. So here you can see in AD20 we have almost 100. We have solved 100 bugs and some ideas we have implemented. So these it's 73% compared to the AD19. Now also it's not audible. I'm getting a message. Okay. Okay. So now almost 5,000 users will receive a will get notified. Will get notified from Altium like their bugs got fixed, and the new ideas got implemented in the latest version AD20. Okay. So and the next extending our technology lead, next initiative. You can see these are the major functional coverage. Like we are getting average user request for all these areas. So in AD17, we almost implemented the library creations and constraints and placement we have covered as per the user request and the areas. And in AD18, like a DRC, we changed the core to 32 from 32-bit architecture to 64-bit architecture to improve the speed of the polygon pouring, DRC check, and the like output job generations under AD18. And in AD19, like major focus is on component search. We have replaced the component search panel by including the supply chain information and all. Like you can see manufacturer part search and other almost all these library creation, PCB drawing draws, DRC. We have just improved in AD19. In AD20, almost this exceeds the average user request. We have solved almost all the issues, and still some of them are it's in like flow. So we will implement it in the pipeline. It is there. And in AD20, major means focus on routing and semantic because we have received a lot of requests on that for those areas. So now in routing, we are the industry lead routing and these other semantic options. Okay. So yeah, so how we did this? Like we have invested our long term in R&D, and there are separate team is there to improve, means to implement the core functionalities. And almost we have spent 4+ years for the interactive routing, and that was done by our Moscow team, like to implement the advanced interactive routing, like we will see in the next slides. And for the semantic, actually our more team, they have invested almost 2 years to improve the semantic compared to the older version and other softwares. So now still high speed design, it's still it is in process, like it's a long-term plan. So we will implement it in the future versions. You can see the like changes and the improvements. The same way as a spice simulation also. Now we have changed the simulation engine, but still you can, in the next year, maybe you can see the improvements in spice simulation as well. So yeah, that's also, now we will see the features which are introduced in AD20. Okay, we have completed key targets. Now, what are the semantic enhancement? So if you are handling a like complex board, or a number of semantic sheets are more, the design is hierarchical design. So every changes you have to compile the complete semantic again, so that you can get like you can find the you can access the changes, right? So in AD20 you don't need to compile the project for each means each changes. It will update instantly, like every time. That's why we are calling it a dynamic compiler. So like if you're adding a component, or if you're adding a like net label something, so immediately it will be available in your navigator panel, if you're aware of the navigator panel. So you can save you a lot of time instead of compiling and getting the DRCs and other like if you're generating the active BOM, and directly you can simply place the components before compiling the semantic. You can just generate the active, so it will be available in active. So now I will show you some videos. I just want to show you, if time permits, in the end I will show you the live demonstration. Okay, so you can see here is the both the 19 and 20 version we have opened, just to show you the difference. So before opening the tool, here you can see the navigator panel. It is available in 20 right side. So this is the left side, and AD19 you have to compile, only then it will be available. Okay, and now here we can add some component, like for example they're adding some capacitors. So like capacitor addition, like we can introduce some net label also. So the ref test we are giving C1234 because easily we can see, and just connecting. Now you can see in the navigator panel in the right side here we can see C123 is immediately available, but in AD19 we have to compile the complete project, and the compilation time also will take it will take some time, depends on your project. But in AD20 it will be instant. We are adding some net labels here. Okay, so here immediately we can see the like changes. So this is the difference in AD19 and AD20. You can save a lot of time so that you can improve your productivity. Yeah, so yeah, even deletion also, if you are deleting the component also in AD20 immediately, yes, right. Yeah, and yeah, one more semantic improvements, like we have changed the complete graphical uh, by using the direct text. We have improved uh, like any graphical actions like zooming, panning, or if you're copying some circuit, some section of circuit to other areas, and like placing the very big component from your library. So that and all, like you may feel them, you may uh, I will discuss the query. We'll discuss the query in the end of the session. Okay. Yeah. And superior graph. Yeah. So yeah, so if you are moving the circuit or copying the circuit, so you can see the graphical improvements by using the direct text. I'll show you the video for that also, so that you can feel the improvements. So here, yeah, in 8020. So this is on mini PC circuit. You can find it in your example folder also. Suppose if you are already you have installed 8020. So placing the components, you can see the graphical improvements and in zooming, and will be fast compared to the older version. If you copy some circuit to other place or moving the circuit, it will be fast. There is no rendering. You don't feel that a slow performance, or there is no rendering, so it will be fast. Okay. Yeah. So other enhancement is like we have updated the properties panel so that we can improve the usability. If you are selecting the component every time, so some people suggested that every time you have to press the tab and go to the right side to edit the properties. So some people suggested that in AD17 and all, like there will be a separate property window will pop up and there we can edit it. So the same way we have we can, like, it is restored but with some extra improvements. Here you can see this is the properties panel. So in AD20, this is a component properties panel. Like you can see some buttons, like whether you want to see only footprint or model, you can select that buttons, and as per that it will display the required informations instead of scrolling the complete property panel and editing the properties parameters or something. So instead, like this will be like a single window. You can get all the access, like whether you want to change the component, there itself we can see the 3D parameter including the supply chain information. So that is the advantage of this properties panel. Okay, either it can be a single object or a multiple object. Okay. And then, so here we are just showing that properties panel improvements by selecting the components. So these are the supply chain information for all the components, all the selected components in single window. You can able to see. Okay, yeah, these are the buttons. So only footprint, if you want to see, you can see parameters, links, like that. Okay, so this is the component property single window. Like AD17, we have just restored the version. Okay. Yeah, and one more semantic improvement is like simulation. We have changed the simulation engine to like to get accurate result and fast processing, and you can feel some means model processing also we have improved because of the new simulation engine, and some of the mathematical functions also like we have included, we have added. So still there is a lot of improvements coming in the upcoming versions, but so this is the some small changes from AD19 to 20. Okay. So in on routing, in routing, what are the features we have improved in routing? Like if it is a dense board and complex fine pitch components, so breaking out the signal from the pin or a fan out, it will be time consuming, and also it's difficult. Like you have to take the even though if you're using any angle routing, you have the number of clicks will be more, like from center of the pin to outside. If you are breaking out the signal, number of clicks will be more, but in AD20 you can simply select and it will adjust, and it will be smooth from the end. As per the path, it will just like you can complete the routing. I'll show you that video on demo also, for that how like there is one hug option. You can select the hug option to means smooth or weak or 45-degree mixed or any angle routing. Okay, yeah, now I'll show the video. Yeah, here, yeah, so you can see the signals we are just we have used 45-degree angle. Okay, Now, if you want to convert this to arc in single shot, you can select all the track, or if you are routing the signal, you can see it will just hug the as it depends on the clearance, it will just hug this objects near, and then you can see that if you select any object, so complete section also now you can able to change from 45 to arc by selecting this by selecting the tracks, or you can use like a tab to select the complete track. You can change this so you can see the difference. If you're handling high speed PCBs and all, this will be more useful. Okay. Yeah, and the once we completed the routing, the main thing is we have to do some cleanups. Okay, so many times maybe by mistake, if you're routing, if you are while routing, this will create any any acute angle or some junction or some tracks, like some cleanups we need to do. So, but in 8020, even though the sliding also we have improved, so the closing will be smooth. And if you are adjusting some signal here in the right side, you can see if I before in 8019 or other versions, if you are sliding this track, that but this particular segment will come separately. But in 8020, it will like you can adjust the next nearby signal also. Like either if you want arc, you can switch between arc or 45 degree like that. Okay, so it depends on that. It will just convert the corner. Okay. So once you completed the net means the track in 45 degree routing, and if you want to change the corner also, you can simply select and you can press shift spacebar to convert the corners. So that way it will work. So like this in this video, if you adjust the signal, you can see this is the improvements we have done in 8020. You can compare this with other softwares also, like if you are adjusting the signal, it will just adjust as per the nearby objects angle, and you don't need to clean that signal. It will not create any acute angle, even the T junctions. And yeah, this is again arc. If you are adjusting this, before it will come out separately, but now it will be smooth and fast. Okay, and this signal, if you are adjusting the nearby signal, say 45 degree and mixed, and now arc. So like this, you can switch between different corners and the hug mode. Okay. Yeah. And the tuning. So to length match, we are adding some delay tuning, right? So the delay tuning, if you have a space constraints, and even I mean after adding the tuning, we don't need to delete and put it again. We don't need to verify where the space is there. You can simply add the tuning, and then you can just move wherever possible that over the path of the track. So it will adjust the track, means adjust the tuning as per the space availability. After that, you can add some tuning. So that is applicable for differential pair also. Okay. So now it will be easy to move. And in the first image, you can see we can adjust the vertices for the tuning box. Okay. So that it will just, we can increase the delay tuning. Depends on the space requirements. So here we can see if I am adjusting the track, so nearby signal it is just adjusting. This also we can change the angle by pressing shift and space bar. So like this. So even though if you use it instead of 45 degree, if you use many mixed signal, there that signal we don't need to do some cleanup. That is acceptable. It's not any acute angle, right? Like that. And if you are adding any tuning, so you can see that can be moved like this. So it will just adjust as per the space frequency. Yeah. So see, if the space is not there, as per the, it will just adjust the tuning height and width or something. Okay. And we have introduced some new rules in 8020, like for the like in DRC, if you are handling some high-speed designs, we should introduce the delay tune, means delay units like for processor and all. we will match the signal in length only, but in some processor we should introduce the uh, picoseconds. Like while creating the processor, they might have introduced some delay, because instead also there is a routing, so they will share the each pin delay for the processor. So that should be added to the pin, as well as the wire delay also. While routing the signal, if you put wire, there's a wire delay also should be considered for the high speed signal. So these wire delay and pin delay can be introduced, can be added in 8020. Okay, so there is a rule. So here you can see there is a length unit and delay unit. If you choose the delay unit, simply mention the delay, whether it can be picosecond, like 8 picosecond or 6, like that, depends on the data sheet. If you go through the data sheet, they will give this information. Okay, so we can generate the report also from there. Like, depends on the based on the delay, means pin delay. So here we can see now there is a column, delay column. If you match the signal, you can see. Okay, it is in picosecond. Now while routing, yeah, we complete this routing. Okay, and now you see in the DRC, in the constraints, we can see we are just simply setting the picosecond in 10 picosecond delay of the signal. Okay, and if we add the tuning, here you can see it is adjusting in picosecond, depends on the delay. Okay, obviously it is good, instead of matching the signal in terms of length, we can match the signal in terms of delay, right? The propagation delay, we will say exact term is propagation delay, right? Yeah, so here you can see it is just matching the signals. And for the via also, you can select the via, and there is a property, see, propagation delay 0.8 picosecond for the particular via. Okay, so now if you route this signal, so if we are routing this signal in the PCB panel, again we can see the delay for each track, track segment, and the via and pin. So here you can able to see, so track delay, here you can see the delay and including the pin also. Okay, so the first one is pad, these are all track, and this is via delay. Okay, yes. So this is the any angle, like if by adjusting the vertices of the tuning gauge, we can just match the signal. Okay, and what are the new design rules we have introduced in 8020? Like first one is grip gauge rule. If you're handling the high voltage PCB somehow, this will be helpful. Like we need to calculate the grip age. Clearance means between the components or between the two objects, but grippage means the surface distance between two objects, like it can be two copper pads. Okay, so this will be if your board is very dense board, or you don't have enough space to maintain the clearance between two different different voltages, then we need to provide a cutout. Okay, like this cutout. So how means now Altium calculates this grippage distance, including this cutout, from one pad to another pad. Okay, there is a calculus, so automatically it will calculate, and whether we are maintaining the clearance or not. Okay, so that we can use it. So there is a grippage rule, selecting two different net or two different pad, and we can mention the grippage distance. So it will maintain. The only thing we need to put a slat over there. Okay, I'll just show you the video also. Yeah, so grippage will create a nasty problem in your like if you forget to maintain the distance between two different voltages, at two high voltages like 200 volt, 30 volt, or even 30, 60 volt, because of the board density and the complexity. Okay, so here we can see there is one net 5 and net 9. You know, we need to maintain the clearance between these two, grippage clearance. So we are just increasing the slot. This is board cutout. we provided the cutout, and by adjusting this, we should means we are maintaining the leakage clearance. Okay. So now we can net 1 and net 5. We can maintain we can provide the clearance rule. So here we have selected net 5 and net 9, leakage 10. Yeah. So we can run the DRCs, on the right side down panel. We are just running the leakage clearance. Yeah, over. So okay. And another one DRC rule is like a return path rule check. That is again for if you want to maintain the impedance for the signal, the clearance should be the return path should be maintained. And for high speed signal, not only high speed, for each signal there should be an immediate return path. The means signal integrity and other things. So in 8020, now you can define the rule for whether if you want to maintain the you want to verify the return path for only high speed signal, because rest all cannot be maintained because of the board shape. Okay, so in that case you can assign only the particular high speed signal. You can verify the return path, or impedance controlled signal. If you want to verify, you can select the signal, make the class, and you can assign the return path. So the reference layer and all, it will take it from your as per your stack up, whether it is a microstrip or it's a like it means inner layer, microstrip and strip line. Okay, now yeah, I'll show you the video also here. Okay, this is the return path rule check. The video here by selecting the okay, it is running. Yeah, okay. So now here you can see the stack up. So by selecting the layer, we can verify whether what are the reference layers are there, and this side impedance you can see. Okay, so we are maintaining some 50 ohm impedance, and the layers here we can go to the rule, and the return path we are creating one new rule for the signals. And so reference layer, signal layer, what is the minimum gap for return path, maybe the dielectric. Okay, and here we can select the impedance profile. If you want to exclude pattern via voids, you can exclude. Only track we can verify. And here we are selecting the signal, the impedance. Okay, objects, they simply defined all, but that can be customized. Okay, so here we can see the internal layer 4 seeing some signals. The reference plane is, so return path rule, we are just running the DRC so that we can see the errors. So these signals are, these tracks are violating. Okay, so now we can verify the return path, the shape we have adjusted. Okay, so that means that's why it is throwing error. Now by adjusting the shape, we can solve these errors. Okay, and maybe in this video while recording, we just manually we have reported by selecting the polygon, but there is one automatic reporting option in your tools preference settings. Okay, so every time when you change the polygon shape, it will report automatically. Okay, yeah, so we adjusted and we are running the DRC again, only the return path DRC. So this also we can save time instead of running the complete DRC, only the particular rule DRC we are running. Now the DRCs are gone for this particular segments. Okay. Yeah. So other improvements like general improvements, maybe for the coplanar impedance calculations. Before you can calculate the impedance for single-ended and differential-ended. Now we have in 8020 we have introduced for RF coplanar single-ended, RF coplanar differential-ended signals. Like, so it will consider the reference ground plane on the same layer as well as the bottom, I mean reference layer. Okay, and so here you can see single differential, single coplanar, differential coplanar. Show you there. So you don't need to do the calculations manually, or instead of following the data sheet, you can verify whether we are following the proper impedance or not within Altium itself. Okay. Yeah. So this is a video I just want to show. So here you can see this is the coplanar signal. We can see. Okay, so this is one reference path and another one is this one, another path. Okay. And in center here you can see there is a load. Consider this is an RF path. Okay. Coplanar transmission line. Coplanar means both side we can there will be a ground reference, right? Yeah. So these are the parameters we need for the manual calculations again, but it will calculate automatically. Okay. So we'll show you some example for that, the PCB. So stop. No. Yeah. Okay. So in the PCB, we'll just take one net P1, some signal. We are going to see how it is calculating the stack up and as well as the other RF actions. So if you are handling some RF board, you can use these features. So introducing one, we are adding a new impedance profile for 50 ohm coplanar. Okay, and select the type of signal as single coplanar. So it will calculate the track width as per the reference layer. Okay. So yeah, now we are just sending the rule. So for the particular net, now we should assign the rule for that to maintain the track width as per the stack up, right? Yeah. So selecting the signal again. So we can use the impedance profile calculated from the stack up and the signals. Yeah, it's a coplanar 50 ohm and select the signal net P1 underscore 1. Okay. Yes. So now if we route the signal and if we pour the copper, it will maintain the clearance as per the calculations. I will see. So we have completed the routing, and if you pour the copper over the signal to provide the shielding via, okay. So just pouring the copper, it will maintain the clearance also. Okay. We are assigning the ground net, and to stitch the wire or to provide the shielding wire, we have options in Altium like wire stitching and shielding. Simply by selecting the net or selecting the shape, you can put the stitching wires. Okay, shielding wires both are there. So now here you can see in 3D. So this is how it will looks. So you can easily create your RF board. Okay. Yeah. So one more options for the impedance calculation is like conductor surface roughness. If you are handling a very high speed like 5G 10G signals and all, that conductor surface roughness, like it can be any dielectric material, any copper foil, there should be a surface roughness. Okay, so this surface roughness will affect the impedance as well as the signal. Okay, signal transmission. So now in this impedance calculation, we have introduced this roughness also. So while calculating the impedance, instead of simply selecting the target impedance and tolerances, you can mention the material roughnesses. Okay, these details you can get it from your fabricator or fab house. So they will give you all the informations. So by mentioning this, it will just calculate the track width as per this. Okay. And other general improvements apart from this, these are the major improvements we have seen, and some other improvements to increase your productivity. Okay, so now we can export the PDF 3D PDF from your multi-board assembly. You know what is a multi-board assembly, right? In Altium we can create a like motherboard, daughter board as a single project. Okay, but so that we can verify the signals electrically as well as mechanical collisions. So now from that mechanical, I mean multi-board assembly like motherboard, daughter board attached 3D view, from that we can export the PDF 3D PDF. Before you cannot export, now we can export, and including the active BOM, you can generate the real-time bill of material generation for means multi-board assembly. Like You can enable one column like motherboard, data board. So these are the components for a motherboard. These are the components for data board. So in single BOM, you can get the complete product bill of material. Okay. And library migrator. So yeah, so if you are under the last webinar, like we have introduced a Concord Pro, Concord Pro library manager. So like our R&D people are not only working on these Altium improvements, they are keep on improving the library and Altium 365. So now, if you are migrating your integrator all other library to Altium library, that will be very easy. Okay, like it will detect the component type automatically as per the either it can be a description or the parameter or the like command. It depends on that. It will just verify the component type and assign the templates automatically. It will be moved to the, why I'm saying this, because if you're converting the miscellaneous devices, in that folder you can see all type of components. It can be resistor, capacitor, inductor, diode, so all these components. So but the templates will be different, right? So it will assign automatically. That depends on the component type, so that the conversion will be very easy. Maybe you are also maintaining the integrator library, right? Like that. So for each project if you are maintaining, so it can be easy to convert the as per the component type, like this. So you can select, you can see automatically it will just assign, it will just categorize the components, will assign the types. Navigate in your smart PDF. Once you generate the smart PDF from your Semantic, and you can navigate the port. Like if you click the port, it will just go to the next sheet where it is getting connected, like that. So that option we have introduced in this 8020. So you can select, you can navigate through sheet symbol also. If you select the sheet symbol, you can navigate to the top sheet or the child sheet, from child read short or port one sheet to another sheet where it is getting connected, like that you can navigate. Okay, including the off sheet connectors. So this will be helpful if your manager is reviewing the smart PDF. Okay, and for accurate component shape representations, yeah, before, if you are facing the issue like placing the components while placing, it will consider a square box. So we cannot able to overlap this here. It will throw violation and it will highlight the components we have violated the clearance rule, right? So, but now there is a courtyard layer. If you are creating a component layer pair for assembly and 3D body and any placement of, so now you can introduce one courtyard component layer pair. Okay, you can put some shape. So while moving the component or selecting the component, that particular shape will be considered as a component complete shape. Okay, even for the placement and collision detection as well. So this will be helpful for you. And then next, copper area calculations. If you are selecting the you can see this is the right side. If you are selecting the polygon, there is one assign net option. So by simply selecting this, you can select any object, like it can be a via or pad, so that the particular net will be assigned. Instead of searching the net name here, you can use this option to assign the net. Okay, the same way, complete, like not only polygon, for other option also the property window is changed. Maybe I forgot to mention the properties panel update. So this is also an update for the property panel update for the polygons or other objects. Like if you are selecting the polygon, you don't need to right click and pour. Directly in the properties panel, the report will be there, report and adjust, so modify. You can select and you can save that there itself. And the component area, copper area, layer by layer, you can generate the copper area. And the polygon, some individual polygon also, if you want to check the area, you can see. This and all will be helpful. So maybe your hardware engineer, if he is asking some questions like how many, like how much area you have maintained for this current rating, this net, because it is carrying much current. So if you, for that questions and all, you can simply answer. Okay, you can just generate a report for each polygon as well as the complete layer copper area. Okay. Another thermal relief override in 1819 itself we have introduced. Like if you select any pad, there itself we can simply change the property from direct connected to thermal relief connect, or through whole component or a safety component. Instead of assigning the rule, there itself we can just change the thermal relief property. So if you assign any thermal relief property inside the PCB, if you are updating the components, it will override. Now you can select this thermal relief override. So it will not change the like settings we have already done in PCB. Okay. And the component area density measurement, if you are doing the like a density analysis, board density analysis, so here you can see board density 28% and the components area is matched. If you are in service field, maybe you can, if you are quoting the customer, and they will ask these details and all, right? So this will be helpful. And also for each component, what is the area it is like it consumes, so that you can just get it from this property window, each footprint. And Doodoo and Clipboard, these two panel has been restored. Actually, it was there in the AD17 that we have removed for the AD18 update. Now it depends on the customer request, and we have introduced the means we have restored these options. If you are copying some sections, so it will be available in your clipboard. So next time you don't need to means copy the same section. Simply you can check whether it is available in the clipboard or not. Directly you can select and you can use it. Okay. And also to-do list. So for each project, you can assign a to-do list. Okay, like what is the next task, like that. So when you open the project, you can check the to-do list, and if you are working as a team, this will be helpful. So what you have done, even for your own track also, like if you want to check what are the changes you have done, this can be okay. And yeah, in single shot, you can add assembly designator for all your components inside the PCB as well as the library. Okay, there is going to be added on assembly drawing. We don't need to manually type this dot designator for each component. Single shot, it will last. Okay. And yeah, importers, like another tool, if you are migrating from one means other softwares to Altium, you can see the conversion rate. It will be like almost above 95 to 98%. And compared to the older version, there will be a lot of improvements in the conversion rate, so that you can like confidently you can migrate to Altium. Okay, from these softwares. And we have solved a lot of migration issues before we, yeah. So now maybe we can answer your queries. We have almost completed. Thanks for your time. Okay. Okay, let's discuss the queries. We have time, and then I'll show the live demo in between if you want. So what are the queries? Maybe I'll can you please share the recording? Yeah, sure. Can drop a mail, or I'll note down your, because last time also. Okay, you can share your otherwise if I forget, you can drop a mail or mail to me. I'll share this recording to you. And what is the use on compile option in AD20? Actually, you don't need to compile the complete semantic every time, every changes. Like if you are changing the components, or if you are adding the components, or any net label, the same way. Before you used to compile the complete uh, project to get the error, or to get the like navigator panel, like if you want to access the, or if you are generating the bill of material, there are a lot of options. We don't need to do the project compilation every time. It will be instantly compiled and it will be readily available. So any other queries? Okay, could you please show me the demo on library migrator, like how it is automatically taking templates of other library? Yeah, sure. So maybe, but I need Concord Pro for that, right? Okay, so yeah, I just want to show this option. Maybe some of the options I'll just show you. If I'm routing, okay, you can see. So depends on the space. It will just complete the routing, and you can see, I'll just show you. I just want to show an option. here how it is just adjusting the, see, if I select the signal, so it will maintain the clearance depends on the DRC as well as the like shape of the object if you are selecting the any angle settings. Okay, and if you are adjusting this track, like before it will be like different, but now see how smooth it is adjusting. Okay, like this it will avoid other cleanups, other cleanup requirements it will just avoid. And yeah, so if I select any via, so in the properties panel you can see the propagation delay picosecond, you can mention it here. Okay, and if you are adding the routing some track, so here I'm just adding some track, some tuning. Okay, so see, now you can adjust this vertices and you can move also. Okay, and this is the property window changes for component, right? Component I can select, so area it is showing, right? So in the schematic you can see if you select any component, so this is the new property window. Okay, you can verify like if this is the, you can verify all the informations in single shot including the part choice and parameters, and see only footprint if you want to see. Next time it will see only footprint. Okay, yeah, any query? For greepage rule, instead of board cutout, if we use slot, then rule will be applicable for that. Yeah, it will applicable. Wait. Okay. So if I'm adjusting this signal, the same video only, suppose if you feel that you are just showing the video and it's not working in here, if you feel, that's why I'm just showing showing these options. Okay, and if you select two signals, so you can see this is less cleanup, right? It will not create any other angles. So here if you adjust this signal, see this is in now by pressing the tab you can see sliding mode, you can change to walk around obstacles. Okay, I can press it's a rounded option. See hacking style, right? So you can see hacking style, you can change between 45 rounded and mixed one. Okay, so that is there. So these are some options I just want to show you. And for the polygon property, if you see here, there is one net assignment and area options. Okay, and select the means you can see the polygon area. By selecting this, you can assign the net. Okay, so now first query, like if you are converting from one library migrator. Okay, so for that I should connect to Concord Pro, that is related to your Concord Pro library. Okay, any other questions related to this? Is there any shortcut for the highlighting the single net? Yeah, you can in Semantic, if you want to highlight, you can press Alt. Okay, you can press Alt and click on the net. So see, it will highlight the nets. In PCB, you can select you can press Control and highlight the nets. Okay, otherwise you can go to panel and PCB. So now it is rest all will be in shadow mode. This particular net will be highlighted. To clear this, clear filter. Otherwise you can go to panel PCB and you can select the particular net. Okay, and you can assign different color also, change net color. Okay, like this. So once we sign into Concord Pro library, you can see library migrator option. Okay, so I'll select on library and show you. So meantime, we can see any other queries. How to highlight trace with multiple trace with. I'm not getting. If you want to highlight the complete track with, okay. You can select any track and press tab. Okay. See this segment you can select and press tab to select complete track. To highlight also. Okay. That is one option. And if you want to highlight only some particular track width, because this is 8 or 10, you can choose find similar object. And there you can select the track width 0.17 mm. Same. So it will highlight all the track widths, all the same 0.17 track widths. Okay, see, like this. If you want to verify whether we have followed wherever we followed the track width. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. And is there any other readily available free library? You can download it from Altium Live. If you have the credentials, you can download our library directly. Okay. But as of now, we have more than 6 lakh plus components are there in our online library. But still, we are keep on adding the components. So instead of downloading and keeping the offline library, you can use our online library by simply signing into your license management. Okay. You can access that. Already components are there. And then how to link those online library. Yeah, you have to sign in here. Okay. Like in the license management window, there is one login options. Once you sign in, you can able to access our manufacturer part search library. Okay. So you can simply search the components here. For example, STM32. If I'm searching the component, see here you can see the symbol, right? So if you're seeing this symbol, the library is available for this. So directly you can right click and use the component. So including the supply chain informations, you can see the component details. Okay, so you have the filter also. So nowadays you don't need to go to the website, supplier website to search the component and all. So here itself directly you can you can use this panel. Yeah, please share the full recording video. Sure, sure. Oh, okay, I forgot. Sorry, ma'am. I'll show you that. The conversion. The library migrate panel is opened. Yeah, so here you can just add the library. Okay. Maybe I'll just library miscellaneous devices. Okay, it is analyzing. It will take some time to analyze. Depends on your file size, and it will categorize the component types. If there is no like a description or the a value or nothing is there to detect the component type, see. So now it is just the category wise it is detected, right? Crystal, transformer, resistor, like that. If it is not able to find the categories, means that will be uncategorized. Okay. So now it will be, you can able to migrate. Even the uncategorized folder you can select, and the components you can assign some templates. So that way also it will work. Will it available in AD18? Do we need to migrate to AD20? Actually, I would suggest you can go to, means you can upgrade your version to AD20, because there are a lot of improvements. If you have seen this complete from webinar from the starting, like there are a lot of improvements in AD20. Yeah, in AD18, what is available you are asking? Online library, yeah? Yeah, online library is available in AD18. Yeah, you can, in AD20, some improvements you can see. How to import the Eagle library. Eagle files we can convert library. I will check. There is one file import wizard option. Okay. Maybe we are in between this conversion. So, okay. Yeah. So in this import wizard, you can select Eagle semantic board file and library. By selecting the file, you can able to convert it. Okay. Yeah. And then what is that? Yes, I'm not able to link the online library. I will check and come back. Yeah, sure. You can write a mail to me. Okay. I will just, can we take the templates already we assigned for that old library when migrating to new? Can we take the templates already? Yeah, yeah. You can like before start using the Concord Pro library, you can create your own templates. Okay. So while here by selecting each component, there will be a property window. So you can assign your own template also. Okay. So before migrating from one library to Concord Pro library, we will create the templates, and by default some templates will be available. So both you can modify or you can use it. So that how it will work. Yeah. And maybe I hope you all have my mail ID, so you can write anything. And if you have any suggestions for the webinar, if any feedback, or if you are like suggesting some topics for to conduct the webinar in future, so you can just you can write a mail to me. Okay. Okay. So this is my mail ID. So you can just write down the mail. Altium Designer software download. Yeah, sure, sir. I will share it with you. Any other queries? Okay. Bhaskar sir, have you asked some questions that the answer is okay, or still you want to discuss? Yeah, yes. Hi. Can I use the AD18 license for AD20? No, sir. No, you have to upgrade. There is some upgradation fee. You can upgrade your license to AD20. Yeah, okay, sir. Sure. We will discuss later. You can reach me. Otherwise I will reach you for the discussion. I'll explain. Any class to learn Altium? Yeah, online materials are there, and if you purchase the license, we will come there for complete training, 1 day training or 2 day training, depends on your requirement. Okay. There is a charge also if you are already, if you have the license, and if you need only training, so then you can write a mail to us, so we will take care. Further we will take care. On certified training, yeah, certified training is there from Altium directly. So I will check with the Altium team whether we can provide the training or not. Means certified training. But from Altium directly, you can pay some amount. So the training will be online. You can attend, and once you complete the training, there will be a exam. So you have to write the exam. So depends on that, they will give you the certificate. Fees and all, yeah, it differs, sir. Maybe you can, I will write a mail to you, or you can visit Altium Live. You can go there. There you can find the webinars, event, online training, and all. There, from there you can find. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay. So if any other question is there, we can discuss. Otherwise, we can wind up the call. Best way to learn and access Altium scripting and material. Yeah, actually, Altium script, it supports VB script, JavaScript, and some 4 different script it is supporting. You can download the samples, okay, and the guidelines. So, but only thing, you should know the Visual Basic and other Java basics, so that you can complete the, means you can write down the scripts. We also need more support on scripting. Yeah, sure, sir. So if you come up with some ideas, maybe I can try my best to support you. Is there any webinar for SI? Yeah, I'll note down. Actually, I'm planning it in future. Okay, sure. We will conduct the webinar for topics. Scripting webinar. Yes, sir. I'll plan for that. Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for your time. We are winding up the call. Okay, bye. Thank you. Thank you. Mm, yeah, sure. You will get an invitation from my end for this webinar, and you can visit our VVDN uh, tools.com website to get the latest updates when we are conducting the webinar. So that this you can see.